Wormley. Thank you for joining me in my discussion on Pull the Digital Plug. Pull the plug. When you hear those three words, you think of death, to stop, to cease, to end. Today, I want to inform you on when is it time to pull the digital plug, the impacts that it affects us, how it affects us, and also how to obtain a healthy digital balance. With TVs, laptops, computers, tablets, even our cell phones, the impact of excessive screen time can affect us physically and also can affect us with our mental and social well-being. Recognizing how much screen time you endure can benefit your life. Let's begin. Facebook, Roblox, Gmail, Instagram, and the number one social media app today, TikTok, all have something in common. What is it? It's our time and our attention. On average, a person spends 7 to 8 hours a day on their cell phone. That's equivalent to a work shift, a daily work shift. Let's dig in on the physical impacts of how excessive screen time affects us. Number one, our vision. Excessive screen time affects our eyes, developing dry eye, blurriness, sensitivity to light, and even give us risk of developing nearsightedness. Number two, it affects our sleep, causing sleep deprivation. The exposure of blue lights from our TV and our cell phones um, give us the inability to fall asleep and also stay asleep. No one wants to be tired in the morning. And lastly, our body. Excessive screen time can affect our body by the lack of physical activity. With the lack of physical activity, that gives us a risk of developing obesity. In a sedentary work position like myself, it also affects us with our vision for prolonged computer time. It can develop us with poor posture and manipulate with us with back pain, shoulder pain, and neck pain. Those are all the physical impacts of how excessive screen time can affect us. Now let's move on to the mental impacts. With the mental impacts, it affects our children and also our senior adults. And also it affects us emotionally. With our children can develop attention deficit disorder. Attention deficit disorder, known as ADD, is the inability to stay focused. It also can delay in language and social skills. In our senior adults, prolonged television has a study has came to indicate that prolonged television is a high risk of developing Alzheimer's disease and dementia, which indicates that there could be an issue with cognitive function and brain health. Emotionally, statistics and research show that there is a high increase in anxiety and depression, particularly in our teenagers and young adults, due to the high volume of social networking. Comparing themselves with social media personalities and other things that are viewed on social media can lower their self-esteem and develop psychological disorders. The mental impacts and the physical impacts have been discussed. So let's move on to the social impacts. The social impacts of excessive screen time can also affect us of how we communicate with others and how our in-person interactions are affected. How many of us like to text instead of call or send an email to a coworker when we can just get up and walk over and relay the message? Those are symbols, those are signs that we are not engaging in in-person interactions. We're diminishing and misinterpreting the way the message tone is, and also the patient's face expressions we're not able to understand. Another social impact is screen addiction, social media, video games, virtual gambling, even pornography has a compulsive need of always having that electronic device on hand. It gives a negative neglect of school, work ethic, family, and social relationships. So we discussed the physical impact, the mental impact, and the social impact. Let's discuss strategies. We need to find a strategy and solution to better obtain a healthy digital balance. We don't want to fall trapped in our dependency of technology excessively. So, one thing we need to do is give our eyes a break. As an adult online student and also have a sedentary work position, I have to learn that it's time for a break. Give our eyes a break. Walk to the water cooler. Get a cup of coffee. Go outside. Those are things that we can do to give our eyes a break. Another thing is don't grab your phone when you're bored. When you're bored, read a book. Start a hobby. Don't take your phone in the bathroom. I'm guilty. We can't do that anymore. It's causing a behavior, a compulsive behavior that we're not recognizing. And the lastly is to set screen time limits. We can set screen time limits on our children's laptops, our computers, and cell phones. We can even do it for ourselves. Turn our notifications off, turn our phones on do not disturb, take the television out of our rooms, and pull the chargers, put the chargers away from our bed. Studies show that the normal screen time that a person should have is 1 to 2 hours daily. With that, that is setting manageable digital usage and is very important in our digital health and technology. So it's nothing wrong with letting go, disconnecting, and recharging. Pull the digital plug.